So hey, welcome to another edition of hand-laid tracks and 3D printed trains with Socrates. Today we're taking another look at a wood pulp car I made. I made this car a little while ago when I had the one color printer and I had to make the black spikes in a separate piece so it all fit and the ends slipped in and off as well. It worked, but I was never but so happy with it, and I always wanted to improve it. Now I can with the Bambu. So with the Bambu, the whole bottom is one piece. The load more or less slips in and out. The load is flat on the bottom, and now the wood is continuous. It's not that hard to break. The bottom has a separate piece goes onto it, and the micro trains couplers just sort of push into it. And they're relatively hard. They're not impossible to break, of course. You can drop it almost and still not break it. And if you do, you can sort of glue it back on with a torch. And you can run it with no load. And there's 6 different versions of the logs, from partials to a different half stack. And there's like more or less a mostly stack. And then there's, of course, the full stack and an empty stack as well. And to do the coloring with the Bambu slicer, check this out real fast. So this is the coloring and put together sequence. On the flushing, I have this set from, the hard one is from blue or black to yellow. Basically I use the 3 colors, black, yellow, and a brown for the wood. And you want to set the flushing at least 400 from black to yellow. I had it set there at 300, I got away with it, but it's not that, not usually it'll bleed through a bit. And basically the setting it to the N goes you to the coloring panel, and F sets it to the infill, and then you want to turn the edge detection off, or yeah, it should be like that exactly. And then when you click it, you can just simply click on, which you basically set it to the body color, and then you click on the inside wood area, and that'll set the wood. But then to do the spikes, you have to click on one and then just slide over it, and then they'll all color to that 3rd color. And I do it with those 3 different colors. And the bottom is a separate piece. You can do it as you choose. Sometimes you have to cut that off a little bit. You'll see in a second. I use for me, some of my filaments string, some don't. So when it strings a bit, I just hit it with a torch real fast and burn it off. Seems to be fine. And on some of these, again, it depends more on the filament. Some of them fit perfectly. Some of them are almost loose. This particular filament combination is a little bit tight. So I use a deburring tool and basically go inside the slot on the bottom once on both sides. Well, that's another thing right there I was doing. When the bottom prints with support, so you have to pick off those little tiny base pieces that are underneath there. Make sure there's none of them sticking out. If it's not fitting snug on the base, there's probably a little piece under there sticking out, and you just kind of pick it off with your thumb. And I made a little box thing that goes inside to make it easier to put it all together, because that sticks out a little tiny bit and you can press against that and it's not going to have a problem. You're not going to damage anything. It keeps you from breaking off the sides. And if you do break off one of the little pieces, I found if you torch it just ever so slightly, it'll stick back together pretty easily. And like most of my things, it uses a microtrain couplers. They just sort of push into the bottom, make sure they're loose. Otherwise, that's usually why derailment happens. If one car keeps derailing, make sure your couples aren't too tight. And with the different colors, you can run it. This time, the old version had little cross beams in there because it was in multiple pieces. But with one piece, you can run it empty or run it full, like the car. So that's how you slice it on Bambu, make the colors, and how you put it together. And you can ride it around and sell some pulp or some wood. Check it out on Cults. Thanks for watching. This was hand-laid tracks and 3D printed trains. I revisited an old car again, improved it for a Bambu. Now it's in 4 colors too, and at least 2 times 2 is 4, it's true.